Okay, so the next question is, how do I know how much weights I should be lifting for a particular movement? Alright, so this is under the context of if you see a certain amount of repetitions, how should you set weights for that, right? So there are a few things that you need to consider. Your training age, as in how long have you been training, what kind of program are you on, what is the program purpose, what is the phase. Even strength phase, you don't go heavy all the time. There's going to be deload days, even if you're gonna, I guess the best answer to this question is that you need to understand the program. What is the program intention? If the program intention is strength, there's 1,000 of ways to how a strength program can express itself. If you're talking about a Metcon program, there's also various different ways as to how it can express itself. But those are when you're talking about at a higher level. But to simplify things, if you're a complete beginner, or maybe not even a complete beginner, maybe you're intermediate level. Okay, you're a beginner to intermediate level. That means you're still looking to get maybe the kind of body that you want, or maybe the health that you want. You're still working on the way there. And when I say advanced and elite level, I'm talking about athletes who are competing, right? They need the very best program, they need the very best nutrition in order to have that edge over their competition. So if you're a beginner or an intermediate, then it's pretty simple. If you're gonna go, generally the lower the amount of repetitions that you need to do, the heavier the weights that you can do. The higher the amount of repetitions that you can do, the lighter the weights that you can do. So let's take a look at an example of our bulk program. Okay. So in our bulk program, what I would advise you is that I would like you to compile, like if you were to look at the program, 5 rounds of so and so. Okay. Let's say it's 5 rounds of 20 push-ups, 20 back squat, and 20 and maybe 20 burpees. So you got 20, 20, 20, 5 rounds. That's 100 repetitions total. So you need to give the kind of push-up scaling which you are confident to be able to do 100 reps within 30 minutes, because that's the program duration, 30 minutes. So even in push-up there are many scalings as well. I mean, you can put your knees here, or you can put your heels here, your toes here, and you can put your shoulder here, and then your arm over here. So if let's say you are only able to do a full push-up, as in like a full push-up, if you're only able to do like 5 at a time, then it might not be feasible for you to do 5 reps at once, and because you're gonna take like an hour or 2 hours to finish that 100 reps of push-up. However, if you're like master push-up, you can do 20 push-ups at once, then definitely, that's the kind of scaling that you should do. So when you look at bulk program like this, where you have like quite a number of rounds, higher number of rounds, like 5 rounds and above, then you might want to be looking at movements that you can do. If it is 20, then 20 reps continuously. If the program says 5 reps, okay, 10 rounds of 5 reps of exercise B, okay, movement B. So then you might want to choose something which you can do maybe 10 reps, because you know that it's going to be many rounds. So generally, it involves it is very, very dependent on the situation, even how much energy you have at a particular moment in time, how trained you are, your movement proficiency. All of these things should be taught to you by your coach. All of these things you should consult your coach or the coach on duty, so that they can give you the kind of feedback which is necessary. But when it comes to lift, however, when it comes to lifting programs that increases your strength, increases your muscle size, those things, you need to understand the program well. If you don't understand the program well, ask your coach. If you bought a program, if you design a program, well, if you don't know why or how much weight you should decide, then you should learn more about programming before you even proceed. If you bought a program, however, ask the person who designed the program for you. If you have a coach, always ask the coach, what's up? So because your coach can give you the perfect answer as to why this weight must be this way at this rep ranges at this movement. Okay, so there's a lot of things to consider as well, like deload weeks where you purposely don't push as hard as you would. But generally, if you're a complete beginner, Just go with what's challenging you. It must challenge you. It doesn't have to challenge you all the time, okay, but it must challenge you 95% of the time. And then you have that small time when you take a break and so on. The objective over here is not to find perfection. The objective over here isn't to find the best program or the fast program. The objective over here, when it comes to you being a beginner or an intermediate, is to find something that works for you in the long run, so that you can slowly work towards your outcome you desire. Okay, so one more thing I would like to add is the coaches nowadays, they like to use something, actually it's nothing new, but nowadays it's just more popular. They like to use something called the rate of perceived exertion, so RPE. So if let's say you have, if let's say 1 is me sitting down, chilling, and 10 means I'm dying, like totally dead. So where am I in the rate of perceived exertion? Am I a 6 or 5 or 2 or 1 or 7? So there's going to be bad days, there's going to be good days, there's going to be days where you feel like a Superman. So the best coaches tend to give an RPE rating. So like I want you to have an RPE of 8 or 6 in this exercise, in this training session. So once again, you see it's heavily dependent on the coach and the person who gives you the program. So once again, to sum it all up, what kind of weight you should be doing depends on the program, depends on the outcome that you want out of the program, which is your goals and so on. So Simon over there raised a very interesting point. He says it depends on the goals that he wants. So what are the goals that you want? It's like, what are the goals that you have for the training session? What are the goals that you have for the end of the program? What are the goals that you have in the end of the phase? So that's what are the goals that you want throughout your entire fitness journey. So it is really very dependent on what are the goals that you want out of everything. Some women, some clients of mine who are female, they say that they don't want to be bulky. And when I ask them what is their definition of being bulky, they said that, I don't want a bigger arm. I'm already very happy with the size of my arm right now. And I'm talking about people who have toned arms, right? So if I were to continue pushing them and keep on telling them that, hey, you need to continuously challenge yourself. So what's going to happen is that at the end, like a few months later, she's going to come back to me and complain how big her arm was. And like I mentioned before, we do not press our values on our clients. So for her case and cases like hers, I would just tell them, you know what, you can actually just slow down on the weight, stop increasing, stop adding increment to your upper body exercises, and you can actually add increment to your lower body exercises. If you want your glutes to be bigger, then just work on your glutes a little bit more, or your hamstrings a little bit more. Depends on your goals, depending on what's your weakest link and what's your limiting factor. That's all.